All right, so we're back and ready to dive in. We're tackling the 2024 U.S. presidential election today.
Buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride.
Yeah, I've been looking through all this research you sent over, and wow, this is going to be interesting.
Absolutely. I think it's safe to say this election is a major turning point for America. It's not just about picking a president, it's about choosing a direction for the whole country. We've got the economy, climate change, social justice, healthcare, immigration. All these huge issues are on the line.
Yeah, I was reading one article. It was saying this election is basically like two completely different visions of America's future, right? Head to head.
Yeah, and the stakes are incredibly high.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. The decisions made this next year, those are going to affect everything. Your wallet, the environment, everything for years to come.
Seriously, decades down the line.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got the why, right? Why it matters. Now let's talk about the who. Who are the major players in this whole thing? We've got some familiar faces, but also some potential surprises maybe.
Definitely. On the Republican side, you've got former President Trump making a comeback.
It's pretty rare, right?
Yeah.
Not many former presidents try to, get back in office.
Yeah, very few. It's a unique situation, especially with, how much influence he still has on the Republican Party. It's a race unlike any other, that's for sure.
For sure, yeah. And then on the Democrat side, you've got President Biden. He's going for a second term.
Right. He's got the incumbency advantage, but he's also got to defend his record. All eyes are on him.
So it's like Biden's probably going to play up his experience,
Yeah.
right? Stability, all that. And Trump, well, he's probably going to keep doing what he does best.
Yeah.
That outsider rallying the base kind of thing.
Exactly. It'll be interesting to see how those strategies play out. And of course, we can't forget about the third-party candidates. They could actually shake things up, especially in a tight race.
Yeah, you're talking about the Libertarian or Green parties?
Yeah, exactly. They often bring up issues that the major parties might not focus on as much. They can really shift the conversation. And you never know, they could even snatch some electoral votes in key states.
Yeah, that could totally change the whole game.
Yeah.
So we've got the why, we've got the who. Now let's talk about the when. What dates should people be paying attention to? When does all this go down?
Well, the action really starts in February 2024. That's when the primaries and caucuses kick off. First up, the Iowa caucuses and the New Hampshire primary. Those are always first, and they can really set the tone for the whole race. Give certain candidates some early momentum.
It's like the first round of a big tournament. Everyone's fighting to be the nominee, right?
Exactly. And then things really heat up in July and August with the national conventions. That's when each party officially picks their candidate. You'll see those big speeches, major policy announcements, all that.
Yeah, the conventions are always super dramatic, right? Lots of excitement, lots of buildup.
Definitely a lot of fanfare.
All right, and then of course the big one, Election Day, November 5th, 2024. But you mentioned early voting and mail-in ballots before. How do those fit into all of this?
Yeah, early voting and mail-in ballots have become super important these days. They can really affect the final results, and the deadlines are different in every state. So you got to know the rules in your area.
So basically, the election isn't just one day. It's more like this whole process that happens over months.
Exactly, yeah. And speaking of processes, we got to talk about technology. It's playing a bigger and bigger role in all of this. Social media is still huge, obviously, but the rise of AI, that's what I find really fascinating.
Yeah, I read this article. It was talking about how campaigns are using AI to target voters. They analyze all this data and personalize their messages. It's kind of freaky, right?
It is. It's incredibly sophisticated. They're trying to predict how you'll react to certain policies or campaign promises. AI can also be used to make super targeted ads and even figure out who the swing voters are. But like you said, it can be a bit unnerving.
Yeah, especially with all the talk about misinformation and deepfakes. AI can create those fake videos, the ones that look totally real. And those could easily spread lies, manipulate voters. It's kind of scary, to be honest.
It's a real concern. Figuring out how to fight that kind of misinformation, that's a huge challenge. We're going to talk more about that in future episodes for sure.
Definitely. It's amazing, technology is changing how elections work at their core. This 2024 election, it's shaping up to be one of the most important, most dynamic in recent history. Big personalities, crucial issues, technology changing the game. It's a lot.
It is. And we've only scratched the surface here. In our next episodes, we'll go deeper, look into the candidates' backgrounds, their policies, and the things that could swing the whole election.
Yeah, we'll be analyzing those swing states too.
Yeah.
The ones that could go either way. And we'll talk about the issues that really matter to the voters in those places. It's going to be a wild ride, but we'll be here to break it all down.
Absolutely. And as we go along, I'm really curious to hear from you all listening. What are you most interested in? Which issues, which candidates are you drawn to? What you want to know more about?
Yeah, send us your questions. We might just tackle them in our next deep dive. Until then, stay engaged, stay informed, and stay curious.
Definitely. Stay curious.
See you next time.
See you.
Bye.